Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Automotive Inc. here. So we got a new toy the other day. Finally in to replace one of our 6.2 gasser powered Super Duties, and we got a 23 crew cab long bed F-250. And first chance I really got to drive it. I've been driving the Ram lately. Those are the rentals. And then our Powerstroke is still in the shop for that AC system. But I mean, let's talk about the nitty gritty. So of course, 23, we got the steps here. That's a huge improvement. Although just the way they're cupped coming out, I've already bumped my boot there a couple times. So just the way the design is, you're gonna want to watch this. You don't kick your paint. It is an F-250 without any extra camper package, tow package whatsoever. So we have our standard 3-leaf leaf pack. We got the cheapest rim zone on the planet, which are fine. Really incandescent bulbs. So this is what the 4-ways are going to look like on there. Put about 300 pounds of ramps in the back, cable ramps. It's already squatted a little bit. It's kind of crazy. We got the redesigned loops here, which is nice. The old ones were kind of a pain. You'd usually put a D-ring or a shackle here to hold your safety chains, but that's good. Luckily for us, they did opt for the tailgate step, which is nice because we do a lot of loading and unloading. But again, if you're going to buy one of these trucks, now they have the steps, it's not as big a deal. But if you have an older one, an older Ford that doesn't have that, or you're in the market for an older Ford like a 22 or previous, man, you want that step. It's just gonna behoove you. So some little Easter eggs here. We got Super Duty and the thing, standard 4x4, standard black running boards. But what do our wondering eyes up here? We got the standard output 6.7, 475 horse, 1,050 pounds of torque. Not available all at once like the Duramax. However, it is plenty powerful. XL, and I like the XL. We do get the some of the perimeter lighting here, which is nice. And then we got this front end, which again, most of this headlight is just fake. So when you get the upgraded one, this is an LED surround. Right now it's just a gray piece of plastic, I guess, if you will. So you know, I don't know about that. So there's what the low beams have. And then obviously in the 22, this was actually always on too. Now this is your high beam. I have an orange marker lamp here. I actually really like this grill. This grill is, I think, actually better looking than the XLT grill. Even though they're all very similar till you get up to that one. Again, they changed the hood there. So now we have a little bit more of a round top hood versus the last one. Don't need to see under hood. It is a standard Powerstroke. So let's get inside. Now, one thing's for sure, those side vent things, they could have just made them like 8 inches shorter. That to me is not overly attractive piece of plastic on there. It is a functional vent in some regards, but at the end of the day, I don't know. So even, remember, some of you guys probably don't because you're probably younger, but I'm not all that old. I just look old to gray here. But I remember when a work truck, you had windshield wipers and a heater. And my first truck, my 6.3 Chevy, literally had a heater with defroster floor. That was the two choices. And as the progressions happened over the years, you know, these work trucks, I mean, dudes, ladies, gentlemen, everybody out there, you can get an XL trimmed pickup and still have a very nice pickup. I mean, unless you just want all the crazy safety tech and all that other wonky stuff, and you have to go up to those upper trim packages. But I mean, literally most of these will come with cloth interior now, all power across the board, no crank windows, no manual locks. It's going to have a key fob. And with Ford, one thing I've always liked about Ford is their connected services. Dial this truck in, add an XL trim, and you have remote start from your phone. Screw the key fob, you don't even need it. Fantastic. Not a lot of other manufacturers are doing that aspect, and you get connected services for life. Now with a work truck, it's a little bit different. You probably have to cross some gray areas to how you can use the connected services when you're not technically the owner, but nonetheless, I think it is really good. So again, this is an XL, guys. I mean, this is There is nothing basic about it. The rubber floor, I'm not a fan of, but I know a lot of people like that. People who work on the ranches, construction dudes, stuff like that. They still put the clips. If you want to put a rubber mat on top of the rubber mat, I'm not sure what the benefit was. But the only problem with these floors, and I get a lot of guys like, oh, I just spray them off the hose. Well, all that crap's going on the edge of the door. Eventually that can create mold. So I would still never use a hose on a truck like this. Now Jeeps and other vehicles that have the drain plug in that makes sense to me. This does not have it. And every time somebody sprays out our Super Duties, they freaking stink like mildew and mold for several days. So I hate that, but that is up to you. But still, it's very, very grippy. It's not slippery. I would just leave it like this. If you're going to get a rubber floor, then leave it like that and screw the things. Ford is the winner of storage, cab storage, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they've got pockets and holes everywhere. So this is your F-150 door you've seen for the last several years, new to the Super Duty this year. Tons of, I mean, you can put a couple different water bottles in here and stuff like that. So again, excellent when it comes to door storage. Again, this thing is a little shallow to me. It makes no sense, but it does not fit an iPhone, but it does fit my Samsung 21 Ultra. So, but you hit a bump and shit falls out. And if you have chapstick here, it falls out. I want a third cup holder here like the Ram, and then most dudes will take this headrest out. But if you get the console, this is where Ford shines again. In the console truck, the 40-20-40, you get a slide over thing. You get 4 freaking cup holders over here. Ingenious. Well done on that one, Ford. So when it comes to the rest of this, we got some little storage here. No charge ports in here, but you don't need them because even in the XL trim, okay, look at this. USB-C, USB, 9-volt plug-in. We have more USB-Cs and a cigarette lighter. I mean, there's enough charge ports in here to hook up just about every appliance that your kids are going to bring. No plug-in, like 110 outlet, 400 watt inverter in this specific truck, but Ford does offer it. Back seat, you also get a 12 volt, which was my understanding that was going away in most trims, but I think it was just in the Super Cab. And then we have USBs back there, and then tons of storage again. Storage here, sunglass holder. We have quasi-ambient lighting here, which I like. This big tray doesn't get a front on it when you get the XL, but who cares? More storage, more storage, more storage. Well done. That's one thing on my Chevy Custom. I wish that this lower part had a little cubby. I think that's a cool little tray for sunglasses and stuff, or your phone while it's charging. If you don't want to have to use one of these spaces to hold it, although they put a cutout here, right here for the plug-in. I still wouldn't be able to want to plug it in and have the cord run. So I do like that. Very simple here, but very good looking, very usable. Standard this year, 8-inch Ford Connect, or sorry, Ford Sync that you're going to get in this model, and wireless Android Auto. Huge plus. Very nice. I will not turn on the music because I'm not paying for copyright, so you can hear music you probably don't like anyway, but it's a good system. Is it better than the Chevy? No. They're both very good. The Ram takes the cake in the best stock sound system, but the map is pretty clear here. It's good enough. It is not as clear as the Ram, but I don't use Android Auto a ton anyway. I've been trying to play with it more since I've had it, but it's easier for me to use it when it is wireless versus the corded, because I just don't even want to mess with it. Exhaust brake, hazards, traction control. So kind of cool this year. This is the gauges that I would pick. They are nothing flashy. I wish they had the chrome rings like the XLT had last year, because I do not like the new digital gauges. But from here, we do have all of our information. So you have your fuel economy averages and whatnot. You have your information screened, which is kind of cool. Then you hit OK to kind of scroll through those, so you can kind of have that all at your fingertips. I do like the particulate filter thing, so you can watch that. And again, so that's kind of nice. Your calm screen, which is a waste of time. Digital speedo, and then your 2 different trips. So trip 2 has been on since we got the truck. Doesn't have a lot of miles, so not a good lot of data, but that's about what we get in our other Powerstroke that is broke in. Again, this is a 475 horsepower and 1,050 pounds of torque. So if you're buying this truck for fuel economy, you might be a little bit disappointed, but everybody else that buys a heavy duty truck just to pull stuff to work, you're going to be pleasantly pleased with that, and it will get better with time. Again, very nice headliner and stuff like that. I like the new layout. So F-150 steering wheel finally. So we got all the buttons and stuff like that. This will be a learning curve if you're used to the old style, because that steering wheel was in service for what, 10 years. So you're going to be dealing with that. Again, in the XL trim, lots of hard plastic, but down here we have just our lighting modules and stuff like that. Pretty easy. And for this year, electronic e-brake. So if you're a hater of that, you're going to hate that. You're going to want to go previous generation, because even in the work truck, you get an electronic one. Again, so Ford is the winner. Rear seat door storage, excellent. The Chevy has probably the least of the three. So one thing that I do like about this new version is the kid's got a little cup holder here, and then in up trim models you'll have a better cup holder on the back of the console, but if not, you have one here, which is fine with me. But this setup tends to get a lot of jostling. The Ford is a rough riding pig, so in comparison to the other trucks. But you know, you can put a tablet back here, a phone back here. If you like splashing soda on at the same time you charge it, you can. And then we have our charge ports back here. The seat material is more attractive, a little bit more upscale looking than the last year. I didn't have a problem with last year. It just is a better looking seat. But lots of leg room. I am 6'2". I have this front seat all the way back, and I still have, well, better half of about 5-6 inches between me and the person ahead of me. So good place to be. I like it a lot. And then they do spoil us with some good lighting. Again, one knock on the Chevy is the interior lighting at night on the black interior is very hard to find and see stuff. So to me, that kind of sucks. And in the custom trim and lower in the Chevy, there are not enough cup holders. There are only cup holders in this door, which I don't like sodas and stuff in the door. Nothing up high like this in the Chevy, so that's kind of a bummer. But in more up trim Chevys, you'll get that. All right, now we're back in the front seat. So new this year, again, I tell you that I like where Ford has this actual gauge selector where you can minimize gears if you want. You can kind of see them going up and down here, but it tells you what gear you're in here. So instead of having the whole line of them in the lower trim models, you're going to get that one where it's orange, and it's going to go up as we go through there. Again, you go through your modes here. Very attractive little side screens, but they are just gimmicky. They don't, other than showing you that cool graphic of the pickup. This is a very simple one. And from there, let's shut this bad boy off and open the door. All right, so very cool graphic right there, even for a trim, basic trim level. Again, rapid heat glow plug, so really no waiting needed there. We can just fire it up. But for the nonetheless, again, very basic screen, but I do like the fact that we have the gauge selector down there. But again, it doesn't remember necessarily that I had it there, so you got to make sure it's turned on. Again, I don't mess with the shifter here, and now your manual mode is here. So down here is our drive mode selector, 2, 4 high, locker button down here instead of the old pull tab. I drive it in eco most of the time. I did with mine. I don't have any issues with the power. Again, so far the exhaust brake is exactly like I thought it was in the last ones. It's just not as good as the rest, especially the Ram. And it is better than the previous generation L5P, but the Gen 2 I'm interested in trying out. Camera, pretty good. Nothing crazy there. Auto park is in there. Camera's still a little hazy. This, you know, you probably can't see it in the photo, but nonetheless, it's all right. Good look outside the cab and everything like that. So now we're gonna hook up the trailer real quick. All right, so I've had an opportunity to drive a ton of these guys, and so in true Ford fashion, we strap on a 7,000 pound generator and the truck squats. You're gonna need to put some type of timbrins on here. That's gonna be your cheapest route over a bag, honestly. And it's really good just for keeping loads level. So when this thing squats with 7,000 pounds, it just levels the load out, and it's perfect. I mean, if you want to go, you know, more expensive, higher maintenance, you can go with a bag or something like that, or a Hellwig leaf spring helper, or just order it with the upgraded payload capacity. But no matter what, even on my F-350, it squatted some without timbrins. I throw timbrins on there, no big deal. By timbrins, I mean they're just an SES, so a suspension enhancement system. Or you can go with like a Sumo. I really don't care. I've only ran Sumo on one. I didn't like the composition of the material versus Timbrens, and some people say they didn't like the ride after they put Timbrens on there. Again, it's just going to be kind of like one of those things where, you know, I'm little Goldilocks. I've slept in the big bed, the small bed. I like the middle bed, whatever. You just got to find out what's comfortable for you, and really get down to it. As for the truck doesn't know this thing's here. I mean, give me a break. 475 horsepower and 1050 on the torque. This is going to have power for days. Again, it's not even about power. I don't really care because an old 12 valve didn't have half the power or torque that these bad boys had. And it didn't even have an exhaust brake, but with a manual transmission, the control, the ability of everything was there, and I love it. But, you know, as for overall, this is a nice truck. The seats are nice. The comfort's there, visibility's good, and for an XL, this is a really nice truck for being an XL. And you guys could save yourself some money, especially if you think you might put aftermarket wheels on there. You can get aftermarket wheels that you can kind of fit your own need and decide that you like. Is it night and day difference over where it was last year? There's a lot of good and some of just the same. I mean, at the end of the day, the high output's coming out. I don't even know who needs that. Probably like somebody that's buying an F-450. You're hauling horses all day. You're going to rodeos. You're hauling concrete forms. You're hauling big equipment. You're a hot shotter and you're hauling heavy stuff. I don't know about the everyday user, because again, a Godzilla is going to be fine. Shoot, the new 6.8 is going to be good. I just don't see it where somebody's going to need that. But if you just want it, then that's fine. Expect a lot of regens if you're not towing with it. That's one thing I noticed. The Ram is the least regenning of the current models. Again, the 24 Chevy with the L5P2 second gen. That one, I don't know how that one's going to regen as much, but I expect it to be substantially different. But at the end of the day, this is a good cabin to be in. Do I like it as well as the others? No, it's a noisier cabin. There's more road noise, definitely more engine noise, period. Somebody a while back said, you know, the gas engine had a lot more engine noise, if you will, in the cabin when it's under load. I don't see that versus the Powerstroke. The Powerstroke still makes its own noise. It's just different. I do like the new dash layout. I was apprehensive about it, but now I spent some time in it. This is a good cab to be in, and to be honest with you, I would probably just buy it, you know, because I want these gauges over the other ones. I would get probably an XL with the STX package. Again, guys, the STX package was not a standalone trim. It's just a package on the XL, okay? So, but the STX gives you a lot of stuff like carpet. I would want carpet in my truck. I just like it. And it gives you all the extra cameras. It gives you some extra flair that I really appreciate. But yeah, I don't notice anything difference in the exhaust braking capabilities. The torque shift 10 speeds, good, if not excellent. Is it as good as the Allison? Probably. You know, I did a video the other day. The Allison, GM owned Allison. So guys, I mean, they owned them for decades, years. So really, probably GM designed most of the Allison transmissions. I mean, who had the bigger pockets? If GM owned Allison, who you think was part of the R&D? So, yeah, the torque shift's a good transmission. Is it going to hold up like an Allison? Probably. You know, I see no difference. Again, these trucks are so awesome these days, like in their abilities, even the gassers. But you can obviously see the cameras jiggling on the tripod like mad versus the Ram and the Chevy. It's not as bad, not as jiggly. The ride is definitely different. Yeah, I'm not as big a fan of the ride now in the Ford as I like the General a lot, but now after riding the Chevy and the Ram so much, they're just a better riding pickup. But yeah, this is a good truck. I mean, again, everything's right on par where I expect it to. Again, I've driven a couple of the HOs and the power's insane, but again, it's just different. I mean, these trucks aren't made for 0 to 60 times like some dudes are showing you. If that floats your boat, congrats. But to me, I want to be able to control my load. I don't care how fast I can get it going. Yeah, I don't want to be dangerous when I'm getting on the on-ramp, towing my fifth wheel, but I don't feel that at all, even the gassers. and you're not gonna have any problem with this. This is a good cabin. Again, the material's fit and finished. Nothing night and day, especially if you've been in a newer F-150 in the last 5 years. You know, you're not gonna be like blown away. You're like, well, this is kind of what I had. So I mean, you're not really gonna, you know, notice much difference. But you know, at the end of the day, it is a nice pickup. I hope that the guys that normally drive this every day take good care of it, because it's a really nice thing that the company hooked them up with. This isn't one of our trucks that we're gonna be driving every day, but I just want to take it for a little jaunt this morning. But yeah, this is a really nice towing truck. It's a really good place to be. Seats are good and comfort, and bang for buck. Again, I grew up in the area when work trucks were truly work trucks, and basically you were lucky to have an engine and a transmission, and now you get all the bells and whistles, a nice stereo, cruise control. I remember when cruise control was an option. So I mean, yeah, overall, guys, pretty good. Would it be my first choice for current generation diesels? No. Again, I want an L5P Gen 2. But to be honest with you, if I was going bang for buck right now, Ram's running some really great deals on what's left of the 22s. Again, they had a stop sale for a long time. So if you're in the market and you're not brand loyal and you're looking for a really nice truck, and the smaller crew cab will work for you, I think you owe it to yourself to go check out a 22 Ram, because right now they're giving 8, 9, 10,000 off of those. And I think it's a better overall truck than, say, bang for buck than the Ford, because right now Ford, they're marking up Fords a lot of dealers again. But I mean, refined wise, I mean, even the Tradesman's a better riding truck and bang for buck if you can get yourself on a 22. But guys, do hit that button down there in the corner there. I'm gonna get back to work, and I appreciate you guys being here. I try and answer all your questions as much as I can, but we'll see you on the next one.